Honey, I was so masculine. If I would have been any more masculine, honey, I would have been a man. Okay. Peace, 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 family. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. If not, do understand and get your day is going to get better once your perception gets better. And I wanted to do this video because I was inspired looking at my life and how I've been doing the work on myself, healing myself from past traumas, from decisions that I had made in the past that were not the best decisions, right? Especially when it came to relationships. Oftentimes we make decisions and we think that, this only affects this particular area. You may think that, because you had traumas with, you experienced some type of trauma when you was a child, that it don't affect other areas of your life. And that is so far from the truth. Okay, it will affect your relationships, it will affect your money, it will affect every area of your life if you don't deal with those things that you have experienced. Okay, so honey, I asked him to marry me. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys some context behind this. All right, so I was about, I want to say like 22, 23 years old. And it was a guy that I had a crush on ever since I was younger, right? We grew up in the same exact projects, okay? And he was older than me, probably about 7 or 8 years older than me. And I just had the biggest crush on him. The reason being, now at the time I did not notice, right? The reason being was because he put me in the mind of my father alive. Okay, he was a rebel. At that time I defined guys who was rebellious, who were womanizers, all those different things. I would say I was lucky to have someone like that, someone that, a lot of females wanted, someone that a lot of females dated. Honey, I know. Okay. So, we was in a relationship, and for probably about, at this time, about 2 years. And before I dive deeper into this story, let me tell you one thing, okay? Men are providers and protectors, okay? Providers and protectors. And we all have two parts of us, like energy fields. We have a masculine part and a feminine part, okay? And if you are a female, you operate more so in your feminine energy, right? And the masculine part, right? If you are too masculine, you may do stuff like, you argumentative, you are confrontational, go back to argumentative, you critique, right? You always critiquing probably how your body looks, all these different things. And I had started learning, right, from the books that I read. One of the books that I highly, highly recommend is The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Okay, that book, hands down, is a phenomenal read. Okay, so getting back to the story. So the guy who I was after, and I didn't notice, but after I started doing the work on myself, I started paying attention to the pattern, right? The type of guys that I go after, why I tend to go after those type of guys. And what it was me operating so much in my masculine, right? Meaning I'm chasing after the guys, okay? It's like I'm argumentative. It's like I could stand up to them, and just like overall, just giving a lot of masculine energy. And one of the things that you have to understand is this: if you are operating so much in your masculine energy, a masculine male, right? He do not want a female that is operating so much in her masculine energy, okay? Because it's almost like him dating a dude, right? Because you so much in your masculine energy. So the dude that, at this time I went after, he was pretty much a mama's boy. He was pretty much indecisive. I would have to make the decisions, the choices. And although he was like a hustler or whatever it was like that, he was in the streets. He was operating more so in his feminine energy, right? It goes back to, protectors, providers, and he was not a protector. And when I say he wasn't a protector, is because he was abusive, right? So if a guy is, if you like, well, I don't know if my man is, masculine, and if he is oops upside your head, honey, he is not in his masculine energy, okay? Because men, real men, they are not putting their hands on women, right? It's like you are the prize. You are, so delicate. They don't want to, bruise you, beat you up, or whatever it is like that. It's like they pretty much honor you. And so those was some of the times, like when I'm looking back at my 20-year-old self, looking back, I can see like why I made the decisions that I made. So the guy, okay, that I was dating, he wound up going to jail, right? Now I moved in with him one time while I had my youngest child, which is my oldest son now, and he had kicked me and my son out. Right? Does that sound like somebody that's operating in a masculine energy? Like he kicked us out, and I'm talking about like threw our clothes out, like my son's bassinet out. He did he just threw everything out, and the reason being was because when I would ask him questions about other females, we would get into altercations, and then he felt like, you know what, you live with me. I am not going to tolerate you questioning me about me dating other females, me getting other females pregnant, So it was a lot, okay? And so when he kicked me out, later on, he had went to jail, right? He got arrested, and then he was in jail for, a few months, and then I wound up moving back in with his mother, okay? I wound up paying the bills, helping out with the bills and stuff like this. Now, this is after he kicked me out. And when guys oftentimes, if they been going to jail for long periods of time, if they've been in and out of the system, and there's no judgment because you guys know my story. When I was 12 years old, I was, in the youth house. But if it just seems like they don't even want to change their lives, right? Then oftentimes they're not going to change their lives. If they don't, if it just seems like they enjoying the lifestyle, they still have more growing and healing to do. And so when he was arrested, I moved back in with his mother. It was him and his mother sharing an apartment, and I moved back in. And masculine men, they have their own, okay? They have their own. They are providers, right? They have their own. They have their own money, and they not asking women like, all right, well, could you pay for this or could you pay for that? Because it takes away from them being a man, right? From their masculinity. And so the guy who I was dating, right, he went to jail, and as he, in jail, I'm going to visit him and, all these different things. And honey, I did not know who the hell I was, okay? Didn't know, okay? And so as he's, in jail and stuff like that, I had came up with an idea like, oh, we should get married, all these different things. And I went and paid for the wedding ring. Honey, let me tell you something. If you are on one knee, if you are paying for the wedding ring, if you are asking the guy, could they marry you, that means you are in your masculine energy. Okay? Because a real man, first of all, they not gonna allow you to get on one knee. Okay? Just think of that, right? And I didn't get on one knee, right? Because he was incarcerated. But when he came home, I had the rings. It was almost like as if I got on one knee. I had the rings and stuff, and I was excited, telling people, oh, we getting married, and, all these different things. And what happened was, as him and I felt for the okie doke. I was in denial. I was gullible. I was naive. I was thinking that he was going to change. I kept telling myself this story that he's going to change. He's going to be better. He just came home from jail. He's not going to do some of the things that he did, like him putting his hands on me. And you got to understand, you cannot change anyone, okay? The way you show up is the way people reflect back to you how you are showing up in this here universe. And so it was the same exact thing all over again. He couldn't get a job. He was looking for jobs. He couldn't get a job. He started drinking again, started becoming abusive, and kicked me out, right, again. And that was the end of that. And then after that, I still went back to him. So to the women, to the young ladies that's out there, okay, understand that men are hunters, okay? If they want you, you definitely gonna know about it. It's not gonna be a secret, and them trying to pursue you. You will know about it. The next thing is that they are providers, okay, and protectors. So if you are always fronting the bill, honey, you are more so in your masculine energy, and this guy is effeminate, okay? Then also, if they always putting their hands on you, he's in his I want to say, but he's too aggressive, okay? Too aggressive, because they protectors. And if he's a protector, why is he beating on you? Okay, so he's definitely not in his masculine energy. And as I was in the bathroom and I was, taking my twist out, honey, I was taking my twist out, and this is one of the things that I started going over, and just thinking about my life and my childhood, and how at times I would get afraid of masculine energy, right? And it all goes back to me, how I grew up and seeing my father, put his hands on women and stuff like that. And I think subconsciously it was like, nope, I want a guy that I can control, or all these different things. And I don't want a guy that's like this or a guy like that. And remember, if you constantly putting that energy, like, I don't want a guy that's like this, like this, like this, as opposed to saying what type of guy you do want, oftentimes you are going to manifest the guy that you don't want, because that's where all your energy is going. Remember, energy goes and grows. Energy grows where energy constantly goes. And with that being said, I hope you guys got something from this. Okay, it was definitely a lesson learned. And if he's not willing to show you he loves you, if he's not willing to show you, that he choose you, or you are the only female that he desire, or whatever it is like that, then oftentimes, honey, he ain't for you. Okay? He ain't for you. And if you chasing, honey, you on your masculine energy, because women, queens do not chase. Okay? We do not chase. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.